Now, before anything else, SE did send me this microphone along with some of the other mics for the purpose of reviews. I'm keeping them all, but these reviews are my own and they have no say in the final product of this video. Now, this is the SE V7, and according to some, it is the best handheld dynamic. Now, I'm on Team SM58 up until now, or even Team E835. So let's see if any of that changes. Now, aesthetically, it is closer to the AKG D5 and the Sennheiser E835 than anything Shure. And even though there isn't much room for improvement on the classic handheld design, SE kind of pulls it off. These little cutaways around the head are not just for looks. They also make sure it doesn't roll off your table. A very cool addition to the classic look. It's also rather useful as well. And as with every other handheld dynamic, this thing is absolutely solid. Good heft in the hand, and there's no give to the pop shield. Also, for those that are trying to match their shoes to their mic, this does come in multiple colors, and you can even switch out the internal pop filter. This thing is a super cardioid microphone.
Supercardioid.
Dude has so much energy. He's like in the hallway right now. It's 40 Hz to 19 kHz, has a sensitivity of 2 millivolts per Pascal or neg 54 dBV per Pascal, and an output impedance of 300 ohms. Now for the off-axis rejection of the SE V7. This is me speaking about 5 inches off the front of the capsule. Now I'm speaking about 5 inches off the side of the capsule. And now I'm speaking about 5 inches off the rear of the capsule. Now for the proximity effect test of the SE V7. This is me speaking about 5 inches off the front of the capsule. Now I'm about 1 inch off the front of the capsule. 5 inches, 1 inch. Now for a handling test of the SE V7. Now let's put this microphone side by side with a few others. This is the Behringer XM1800S. Probably one of the worst microphones I've ever used outside of the pile. And this is what it sounds like as I go back and forth. What do you think? This is the Behringer XM1800S, and this is the SE V7. Now we've got the SE V7 up against the Behringer XM8500. Once again, I'm not a big fan of the XM8500, but it's definitely not the XM1800S. Now, as I go between the Behringer and the SE V7, which one do you like? I think this one's going to have a lot more clarity. What do you think, though, between the two of them? Now we have the SE V7 up against the Shure SM58, the benchmark of microphones. What do you think as I go between these two microphones? Now, I do believe that this SE V7 is going to pair better with the Sennheiser E835, but let's put these two side by side. What do you think? Is it the SE V7 or do you like the SM58? Now, as I stare down the barrel of the AKG D5 and the SE V7, yeah, very similar in their presentation, at least on this end, and even from the side. What do you think between these two microphones? Now, they're both super cardioid. That never gets old, eh? This one, the SE V7, very clear, very transparent, with a little bit of a boost in the highs and a little bit of a roll-off in the bottom, versus the AKG D5. And I can't quite recall what the frequency response is on the D5, but what do you think as you stack them side by side? Which one do you like better? Now we have what I think is the true test of the SE V7. This is the Sennheiser E835. I had to think about it there for a second. And this is the SE V7. Which one do you like between the two of them? Now, you really can't go wrong with any of these handhelds with the exception of the XM1800S. And they're all relatively similarly priced with the exception of the XM18 or 8500, the 1800S. We'll just forget that one ever happened. So which one do you like? Out of all of these microphones, as you put them side by side, which one do you think has the clearest sound for you? What do you think? SE V7, Sennheiser E835.
SEV7 numero 2. This is an SEV7. It kind of rolls off the tongue, SEV7. It's a microphone that has a color palette. So if you like choosing microphones based off color, then this might be your mic. I like choosing cars based off color, and bikes apparently, as we learned today with my kiddo. But this mic has a red spongy thing. You can change the spongy thing to different colors. So if you like to change the colors of the spongy thing in your microphone, choose this one.
I mean, there's no real cons here. It is a well-balanced microphone. It has a great amount of detail in the lows, and it's tight. The highs are nice and shimmery. The mids are a bit forward, but not super forward. And I think that it's less that they're forward and more that the roll-off on this thing kind of brings them forward. So basically, this is a fantastic handheld microphone. No real glaring issues. And while you might be sitting there screaming at your monitor because you came here for an answer, well, that's a good time to get into the final thoughts. You have a ton of options for a dynamic handheld, especially if you don't mind dropping some extra cash for it. Now, the benchmark is the SM58. You just can't go wrong with it. The E835 has a bunch of character to it, much like this V7. So you really can't go wrong with any of these microphones. Not at all. In fact, buy one of each. Honestly, try them out. One of them will stand out for you. For me, on the guitar amp, I would take the SM57 or 58 every time. For the acoustic, especially the paired acoustic, I would take the SEV7. And for vocals, I would either run with the SEV7 or the E835. In fact, those are in a very tight race for me. But as we showed you in the Hurt video, in the end, it really doesn't matter. Get what you like and make something awesome with it. Now, what did you like out of all these microphones? Which one stood out for you? Which one delivered the sound that you're looking for? Let me know down below. Cheers, and I will see you in the next video.